have been buying more and more Pac-Man frogs lately, and if you watch a lot of my other videos, then you know that I used to breed Pac-Man frogs, and boy was that a journey that I truly did really enjoy and felt really accomplished. I put many, many years into learning how to breed Pac-Man frogs, reading research studies, picking the minds of other reptile breeders, and even using some fish breeding techniques to actually help me pull it off. Not only did I use fish techniques to be able to breed the animals, but I also used that a lot of techniques that you use to raise your fry or aka baby fish with my tadpoles, which really did help. It allowed the tadpoles to grow a little bit on the faster side. They ended up being a lot healthier, a little bit bigger once they finally absorbed their tail, and it just was a really fun experience. I had a couple of my interns at the time that just had a blast with it. Don't get me wrong, it was a ton of work. You go from overnight to having, just your breeder frogs to, oh my gosh, there's 2,000 plus tadpoles here. And then you got to separate them all. You got to feed them. And the feeding part is the thing that a lot of people overlook, because these tadpoles are carnivorous. So if you don't feed them enough, they're going to eat each other. So you got to make sure that you're feeding them enough with enough protein in them that they can really actually survive and thrive without having to go after their siblings. So you got to manage that. And these tadpoles, at certain points in time of the raising them up, because tadpoles usually are only going to be in the water from the time they hatch to the time they come out as frogs, 30 to 45 days. So it's not very long, but at certain parts of the raising up of the tadpoles, you're going to be using anywhere from 1 pound to 6 pounds of bloodworms a day. Now, that's where the expense really comes into play. Not only is it expensive to set up all these tadpole stations that really allow you to have as many tadpoles as you're going to have, but the feeding aspect gets really expensive. At your traditional pet stores, 1 pound of bloodworms is going to be $15 to $20. So I don't know about you guys, but that adds up real quick. So before you try to breed Pac-Man frogs, do yourself a favor and try to find a wholesale source of frozen bloodworms. You're going to need a lot. I think one spawning I went through almost, I want to say probably 70 pounds, if not a lot more than that, of bloodworms just for one spawn of tadpoles. So I mean, you go a lot of money into this. So if you're actually wanting to breed Pac-Man frogs, please continue to watch my videos because over the next year, I'm going to be doing tons of videos about Pac-Man frogs, how to breed them, how to raise the tadpoles, and how to do it with success. And that is the goal. I'm going to try to teach you guys, but please try to be responsible. And if you cannot afford to do this the proper way, please just don't. There's just no reason to bring animals into this world just to let them die. But now I'm going to show you some of the new Pac-Man frogs I just got yesterday. I was going to do an unboxing video, but unfortunately they were a little bit later with FedEx than what they should have been. They were almost 2 hours late. And the shipper, I'm pretty sure one of the packs that were in there was an ice pack. So when these animals got to me, they were actually really cold. Honestly, I wasn't 100% sure they were going to make it. So I took a bunch of pictures, I contacted the seller, I let them know, hey, these guys came in super cold, they were super late, I just want you to know what's going on in case something happens to these guys, that I can then talk to you and hopefully we can work something out and getting some replacements or whatnot. Which of course the seller was super nice about it. Awesome, thank you for letting me know. Because number one, when you're buying an animal from somebody and something goes wrong, communicate that with them as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the harder it is for them to believe that you're actually telling the truth. That, oh wait, they're saying this animal's dying, but they got it a week ago. And I haven't heard anything about it doing wrong until now. That's when a lot of breeders will then tell you, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure you messed up or you did something. I can't really help you. So be cautious of that anytime you buy an animal from somebody. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of new frogs that I got. As you know, I got some strawberries last week. This week I found something, a couple Pac-Man frogs that were called green apple. When really I look at them, they just look like a four spot. That's a green. Which don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. I do love them. It is really cool. But one of my goals with them is to breed it to a strawberry. I want to see a strawberry four spot. So let's go take a look at some of them. All right. So as you can tell, I mean, these animals don't have a lot of pattern to them. They are pretty much just green with, the four spot on the back. But the cool thing about these animals is if I'm successful and able to actually breed these to a strawberry and actually get a four spotted strawberry, that means that their base color is going to be that red burgundy that we're always looking to have when it comes to our Pac-Man frog strawberries. See how his pattern right there, the background color that surrounds all the spots, is that reddish pink color. Now, if I can breed that to a four spot and eliminate all other spots except for the four that are on the dorsal part of the back, I believe we can come up with almost a pure red Pac-Man frog. In which, don't get me wrong, I've had this idea way before. I want to say probably 4 years ago is when this idea first hit me. But around that time is when I kind of got out of Pac-Man frogs and just didn't pursue it anymore. So now that I was able to pick up some more four spots for a really good price, I think I only paid like $25 a frog here. So I was pretty pleased with the price of them. They do look really good. I have seen better, don't get me wrong, because some of these guys definitely have more pattern on them than what I would prefer them to have. But that being said, I am still super geeked out and excited for them. These guys will probably be around the right age, kind of when the new strawberries are, because they're really probably roughly the exact same age. There's not going to be a whole lot of difference in age with these guys. They just love to be dirty. What can I say? I mean, if we can pull off a four spot strawberry, gotta say that'll be pretty awesome. I'm really, really hoping that we can pull this off. I think we can. I'm not too concerned about, if we can actually pull off breeding them or whatnot. But I really just want to see a four spot strawberry Pac-Man frog. There's not going to be much better in my mind that's going to trump that. Um, so I'm getting excited. We are probably going to start breeding in the next, probably 6 months. This female is ready. I do have one male ready. But if you know much about Pac-Man frog breedings, you need to have about 5 males to one female, because you've got to have that competitiveness between the males to get that female to want to breed. And there's a lot to the timing and the process that we're going to go over in the next few months. And I'm going to definitely walk you guys through, help you out with it. And we're going to figure out everything you need to know so you can be successful breeding Pac-Man frogs. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble on about Pac-Man frogs. I absolutely adore Pac-Man frogs. I have, ever since probably 12, 13 years ago when Brian Barczyk introduced me to Pac-Man frogs. I think I've probably had one ever since. I even had to get a nice tattoo of one just because they are truly one of my favorite reptile amphibians to work with. You just don't get much better than a frog that gets massively huge with awesome epic color variations that sits there and can pound small rats when a female is full grown. And you can't tell me that's not impressive. See a Pac-Man frog, just a frog, that is just a massive blob, sit there and just pound a small to medium rat. It's just awesome. I love watching them eat. It's such fun for me to watch them eat. I do have tons of feeding videos on this channel. Please check them out. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. There's tons of videos coming. and I'm going to teach you guys how to properly breed the pac-man frogs over the next few months. You have a great one. Thank you for watching.